Today we are looking at Mahara 1.8, and there are tons of new features in this version of Mahara. And just to give you a brief overview of what our development cycle was, back in April this year we released Mahara 1.7, and since then we've been working on Mahara 1.8, releasing the first release candidate just last week, and we invite everyone to test it out, to give it a try, install it either on your own test servers or also play with our own testing instance, where you won't be able to test every feature simply because you won't have site administrator access, but at least you'll be able to test a number of the features that you can see on the front end. So hopefully, once we are confident that the release candidate is pretty good and that there are no major bugs anymore that people report, we will release Mahara 1.8 later this month. That depends a bit on how the testing goes and whether lots of people also test it and whether we find many important things. So far, it's actually looking pretty good. And then, of course, once 1.8 is released, we are already going to start on Mahara 1.9. It is very exciting to see that we actually already have a few feature proposals for 1.9, which we could not get into 1.8 due to timing issues. And therefore, it will be exciting to work on that new version for Mahara, which will then be released in April next year. And thank you, Wooly. Great to hear that you'll be testing over the next week or so. I think we'll still need at least one more week of release candidate, just to iron out a few things that are currently on our list. So what is actually new in Mahara 1.8? I'll be looking at the most important features that you as users will see, and I'll be glossing over some others, but you can definitely read up on the individual features and a link to them in our bug tracker, and that is also mentioned in the release candidate announcement. And what we also do is we are updating the user manual as well to Mahara 1.8, and currently I'm still in the process of doing so, so I'm unfortunately not yet quite finished, but you can already find the first features documented in the menu. And if you scroll down to new in Mahara 1.8 on the index, you can see the first features that I've already documented and that I'll be talking about today a bit. So one of the first big things that you'll see directly when you get to the Mahara site is that we have introduced a completely new icon set. So gone are the colorful icons, and out come the now modern monochrome icons. And these icons appear throughout Mahara. Everything has been very closely aligned. There's one style for all icons. And what we've also done is improved usability for working with Mahara on mobile devices, because previous icons, especially if you think back, edit and delete icons, they were fairly small, and it was very difficult on a touch device to actually hit them correctly and not hit something else. And so we've increased the size of these icons, made the spacing a little bit bigger, making it easier for you to really work with mobile devices as well, besides already having had the responsive theme. What Yvonne, our designer, has also done in order to help people creating their own themes and making their own icon sets, as she's written an icon and theming guide that we are finalizing at the moment. And there you'll have the original files of the icons available. You'll also have styling information that she used on the icons, and you also have theming information available, which will be quite extensive on how to actually theme a Mahara 1.8 theme. So we'll be putting that up sometime soon for the release as well, so that if you are in the market for a theme yourself and want to create it yourself, then you can take a look there and get some tips on how to get about it. What we've also included is a feature from Mike Kelly that a lot of community members really liked, and that is to change our block chooser, our artifact chooser, from having it in the horizontal right above all your blocks to the left-hand side, so that you can be more flexible. As you can see here, we've also aligned all the icons to be monochrome, new, and what we've also done is be very space conscious, so that you can actually, if you know what the icons mean, you don't need the text, you can serve some space and fold the panel in so that you only see the icons, and then of course you can always fold it out to see the individual block types within a category. The nice thing about this panel is also it does not scroll. So if you have a very long page, it'll stay on the left-hand side, and you are able to actually put blocks at the bottom of pages much more easily. Let me just briefly scroll back because I missed what Keith said. Keith, could you maybe please increase the chat a bit so that it's easier to see? Oh, thank you. So Keith had the question, can we push defined content to everyone's dashboard page to provide some common links, etc., maybe as part of the theme? Keith, yes, you can do that as part of the dashboard image. So if I just go back briefly, what you see here under Create and Collect, Organize, Share, and Network, that is the dashboard image or the homepage info. And you can adapt that area quite easily because everything sits in one template page. That is the home info template. And there you can put anything in there that you'd like to put in there for your theme and really adapt it to your own institution. Going back to that block chooser repositioning, so that is one of the major features in Mahara. It sticks to the left-hand side, so there's no scrolling involved. And what we've also done upon the request of users is to actually take out text box and image and highlight those in particular, because a lot of users said that these are the two items that they put into their portfolios most. And therefore it is just easier not having to go into a submenu in order to get to them. So we definitely would like to invite your feedback on this artifact panel, but actually any other 1.8 feature, and see how you go about them, whether you like them, whether further changes would need to be made, and so on. Another great feature that we now have in Mahara 1.8, which we based on Mike Kelly's work from the University of Arts in London as well, is the flexible page layouts. That is also something that people have been waiting on for quite a long time. And as you can see from the screenshot here now, you will not only be able to work with columns in Mahara, but now you can also actually create rows. And you can create your own custom layouts. That feature is already documented in the user manual if you want to take a look at it. So you can be very flexible now with creating your pages and designing them. However, you should keep in mind that some people do view Mahara portfolio pages on tablets, on 7-inch or 10-inch screens, or even smaller devices, and therefore all these layouts will also be squished together and eventually end up in one column. So just be mindful of all the responsiveness that can go on. Beth, in regard to your question, where should we share feedback? If it is a bug that you find, please put it on the bug tracker. And if you have feedback on any features, it would be best in the support forum on mahara.org so that everyone can see it there. Marilena, the demo site the demo.mahara.org is currently only on Mahara 1.7, so you would need to go to masterdev.mahara.org. But I think we found a couple of things right now already during the release candidate, which we have not yet released. So it might be that this version still has a small bug in there. But hopefully your IT guys will be able to install a version temporarily for you. But the more changes we make once we bring out a new release candidate, we will also update master.dev.mahara.org. Okay. Next feature is full text search. That is something that has been in the making for a very long time, and we are really, really grateful that we could implement this feature thanks to funding from the New Zealand Ministry of Education, who funded quite a lot of the features that you see in today's presentation. And that full text search searches titles, descriptions, tags of everything that has been uploaded to Mahara. But you only see the results to which you actually have access to. So we still respect all permissions, and so people get different full text search results. As you can see here from this screenshot, from this mock-up, so the eventual feature looks slightly different with the tabs. We did not just only implement full text search, so kind of one search and then you have to scroll through, but also faceted search, so that you can drill down into individual components that you're most interested in more easily, so that you can either just see only text or only media, that you only see portfolio pages, users, or groups. And as you can see from the screenshot as well, you will see the person's username, where it has been used on which pages. You can also directly jump to the image and then also see tags. And if a result returns one of your own pages or artifacts, you can also immediately click on the edit button to edit it away. Keith, in terms of full text search CPU and time intensive, we are using Elasticsearch, so a Tomcat server would be required, and the initial indexing will take quite a bit of time, especially when you have a very large site, but after that it's not really going to be too intense. And Paul, yes, currently this full text search only exists for Postgres databases. For MySQL, we are still missing the triggers, database triggers, and we are hopeful that we can implement that feature for Mahara 1.9. And so if you once we have it, then of course there would be the possibility that you backport it to your 1.8 MySQL instance. At the moment, I would not recommend moving from MySQL to Postgres just to use full text search, but rather that we make this change. Hopefully there'll be some funding available for that. Because making that change is not much time anymore, whereas moving from MySQL to Postgres can be a large undertaking, and we do not really have any experience in that because we have not done that move yet, and therefore cannot make any recommendations how long it takes, what you need to take care of, and so on. So hopefully somebody will get out their development head, knows database triggers very well, and can implement it for MySQL. Moving on to an experimental feature, which is page skins. So that has also been long in the making by Gregor, our premier plugin developer. He has been working on that for a long time, and finally we have it in Mahara core. And that allows you to override theming styles that you have, and students can create their own backgrounds, work with their own fonts if you allow that on your server. They can also change font colors and link colors and so on. We do label it experimental at this moment because there's still a number of things that would need to be changed and that would need to be adopted. Because currently skins do not necessarily work well with every theme, and therefore at some point hopefully we'll also have a theme that is made for working with skins so that everything can be overwritten quite nicely. What we are also trying to get done, and unfortunately I wasn't able to finish it for today, was actually issue have a call for a competition for creating skins, and then that the user community can also select the best skins that they have voted for. So hopefully within the next few days we'll be able to publish that competition. So get your designer hats on, have a Mahara 1.8 instance, or use one that is available. We'll make sure that we turn on page skins on master.dev, and go away and see what you can design. More information to follow in the next few days then. Skins also allows institutions and sites to actually create skins so that users can use those. You'll also be able to import your own skins. So we can also eventually have a skins repository somewhere on the wiki so that people can share skins with each other and take it from there. You can favor your skin. You can choose skins that other people have created on your instance. Wooly, that's a great idea to run a theming competition with your digital media students. So it would be very fantastic to get your feedback also on the theming guide that Yvonne has created and how helpful it was, or whether anything is missing, as well as for the icon guide. We also have a number of smaller features. Here's another one from Gregor that we implemented, and that allows you to link to online publications. So when you're on your resume on books and publications, you can now also provide a URL, which will show up when you have your publications listed. And that URL is then also linked through. You can also upload files to your resume and also to text boxes. So watch out for the attachment placement on pretty much any field in the resume and also on text boxes. So making it easier on the resume, for example, to upload certifications, certificates that you have received, or any references for jobs or internships and so on. We are now also able to embed PDF files into a page, similarly to making an image or a video directly available on the page, displaying it directly there. You'll now be able to display PDFs as well. And you can also include multiple PDFs on one page, making it very easy for people to take an initial look at the PDF. And one feature that also a lot of people wanted is to drag and drop files into their files area. So what you can now just do from any modern browser, I think it is Internet Explorer 10 that is only supported, but then every other Chromium, Firefox, and Safari browser, just open your file browser and drag and drop your files into the files area. And that also works in other places on Mahara, and hopefully making it easier for uploading files without always just having to click on the browse button. And what we can also do now is put tags onto all Mahara created content. In the past, you were not able to tag collections, plans, and text boxes. And that has been rectified now, so you can now also find all these things in your tag search, and also then collect content that you put onto text boxes or plans directly with a tag. And another really big feature is the user import of leap2a files. You will be able to import leap2a files into an existing user account and therefore merge portfolios, making it very easy if you already started out at one institution and want to bring in the portfolio from another institution. Then you can merge them together, and an administrator is not required to upload leap2a files anymore. And something now more for the administrators amongst you. We were also fortunate enough to implement LDAP Sync. That is a plugin that Patrick Poulet had developed, which we were able through a client to make available in Mahara Core as well. And that allows you now to more easily create user accounts if you have an LDAP system, and also to allow for groups to be created and then members synced into these groups. That is a really nice feature if you want to prepare things, and if you also want to offer a lot of groups and have an LDAP server where you already group all your users nicely. What is also quite nice is that in most places you do get a warning when you're not saving content. So in the past, for example, if you accidentally hit the back button or a key combination which took you to the previous page, then suddenly all your forum posts or journal entries were lost. Now you actually do get a warning, like in many other online services these days, asking you whether you really want to leave or whether you want to stay on the page, just avoiding some of these oopses a bit and have you having to retype everything. We also make it easier now to add tracking code, and so what Moodle calls additional HTML. Due to the security implications, though, this is not a front-end feature, but needs to be set in the config PHP file simply because your usually tracking code is, for example, added via JavaScript, and that just makes it too easy to attack on the front end, and therefore we do want to make and we do want to make it very obvious to site administrators that they really know what they are doing, and therefore it is a config value. And there are, of course, some more features that we implemented in Mahara. Some very small features, some still bigger features. Also, some features that are more important for if you have multiple institutions running on your Mahara site. And you can find them all in the release and also in Mahara itself. But I think I'll stop here so that we also have some more time for other presenters today. And of course, we've also fixed a number of bugs again, making Mahara more secure, fixing things that have been broken for a bit or for only a very short time. And we always welcome feedback from everyone, and any suggestions for improvements and also bug fixes, or if you work on your own institutions with developers, then please also forward us your changes so that we can consider them for inclusion and then have more features in Mahara 1.9.